Hello everyone and welcome back to Retention Chronicles. This is the ShopTalk Fall Recap episode for 2025. I'm super excited about it, and it is part of the reason that I love this industry is the conferences are just so incredibly insightful and everyone there is so friendly. So with that, let's dive into it. If you don't know ShopTalk, I highly suggest you check it out. I've been to multiple of their conferences, both the spring conference that is traditionally in Vegas, or at least I should say the times I've gone, it's been in Vegas, as well as ShopTalk Fall, and that historically has been in Chicago for the past 2 years for 2024 and 2025, and their ShopTalk Fall in 2026 will be in Nashville. So without further ado, I wanted to give a recap because I know I've been getting so many questions from people about how it was, what the rundown was, who was there, all that fun stuff. So let's get into it because that's what this is all for, right? It'll be to no one's surprise that AI was the forefront, the cornerstone, the showcase of the show. It ruled the show. Everyone was talking about it, and rightfully so, because it is a hot button topic. It is super relevant right now. Everyone's thinking about it. And then the second biggest trend that I saw was just continued focus on customer experience. And ShopTalk focuses both on retail and D2C, but a little bit more leaning towards retail, if I had to say, which obviously I'm in the D2C space. So there's a lot of overlap, but some differences. But customer experience, every single side table talk that I went to, someone touched upon the customer experience, if not all. And obviously, this is what I'm most drawn to with this podcast, with my role as head of marketing at Malomo. And customer experience, I know as a consumer and as a brand founder, is super, super important. And I know you all know that. So yeah, there was a lot of takes of how to make it better, how to focus on it, what softwares people are doing to do that. Obviously, specifically, I focus on the post-purchase side of things with Malomo and using order tracking to really make sure that your customers are not getting into the realm of buyer's remorse. And everyone I was talking to at the show about Malomo was tuned in to how important that post-purchase retention is, because you're not paying for additional CAC. But I have more details that I want to go into with AI and the customer experience. Now that I've gotten kind of those two big trends out of the way, let's dive a little bit further because these are my deeper takeaways. So I will give shout outs to the brands that were saying these things as I can remember them and as I took notes. But obviously conferences sometimes are really hectic. So if I don't get the attribution correct, I hope you'll forgive me. But I think I have all except for one. So first thing I wanted to point out was Wayfair. And they were talking about how Halloween is a big season for them. And they had said that 70% of sales during a promotional period are from non-promotional items. But what this does is it gets customers excited and on site. And I thought that was really interesting. Obviously, that statistic is too specific to them. But to know that 70% of sales during a promotional period are not for sale items was kind of mind-boggling. And I just shopped actually tonight and used a gift card that I had for a brand, and I was looking at the sales and clearance tabs just to see what they had on there, fit what I am looking for, items to fill out my closet. And I definitely see how, obviously as a consumer, a sale gets you to go on site if you get an email or a text or something to check everything out. And then, you go from there and make your buying decisions. Second deeper takeaway I wanted to go into was the US Polo team. Their rep was saying how live streaming marketplaces are more and more relevant to them, and they are looking to Asia because they are really setting the tone in this industry. He talked about how marketplaces are now shifting to where brands can decide the price and the fee of being on those marketplaces rather than having a set fee from a marketplace. And I thought that was really interesting because obviously I focus mostly on direct to consumer stores and branch out into retail a little bit, but marketplaces is honestly something that I've been more and more curious about. And so hearing someone talk about live selling and live streaming and learning how to do that, because I tried to go on TikTok live once, okay? and it was from my brand, Haven Nova Swim. And it's hard. It is hard when you feel like you're talking to a wall for live selling. Like this podcast, yes, I also feel like I'm talking to a wall sometimes, but I'm not selling. And I think that's the difference, where this is value based versus live selling is selling and conversions based. So I think that was a really good point of just knowing how to do live selling before all of your competitors are doing that. So I highly suggest anyone to look into that, because I know that's now on my to-do list. Third thing was real-time analytics and the ways that AI opens the door into this for us even more. And this is the one person who I can't remember exactly who it was. So if it was you, please let me know. But they were talking about how you need to figure out real-time data analytics, and data that is 1 minute old is 1 minute old. That is not real-time data. And they offer the example of thinking about it in terms of inventory. So say, 1,000 people are shopping on your site. If you don't have the exact to the minute to the second correct inventory, then you might get yourself into hot water. There might be someone who purchases who then you don't have stock for, so then you have to email them and then they are disappointed. And it has a lot of downstream effects, or potential downstream effects. So he was really articulating for the importance of real-time analytics across the spectrum, not just logistics based analytics, but everything, even like marketing. And just, he was talking about ad dollars and how you have to make sure that you are continuously getting real-time analytics. So that was fascinating. And then Hydrow, they are a rowing and sport equipment team. And he said something that was so funny, and I wrote it down because I was like, that actually is so true. They were talking about pivots in their session, and he was like, a pivot is just a euphemism. I can't say that word. Euphemism for death or near death. And I was like, that actually is so true, where people are just like, we're pivoting, but it's saying like something is changing and it needed to change drastically. So I just liked that he kind of called that out and shared that as a leader of a brand, that like they had to kind of make a switch and figure it out, and they're still in their learning process. But he said that companies can't really talk about their products because people know that people know that they're biased in that. And so he said the real magic for them has been getting other people to talk about their products and say what they like about them. And that's where UGC comes in. So I don't think that's necessarily shocking to anyone in particular. But I think hearing that a company cannot necessarily talk about themselves well and sell as best as another person can was super intriguing. And then my fifth kind of deep dive top 5 takeaways was Gary Vaynerchuk speaking about how social media platforms are aligned with us right now, and they've never been, because they want your creativity and your engagement to be phenomenal. And so he kind of broke down how in the past with media, say TV or print, those distribution channels don't really care about engagement. They're just selling you placement. And so he was saying how social media now, they have a vested, aligned interest in your content being super engaging, because then it keeps customers and viewers on their social media platforms for longer. And I thought that was such an interesting view on it, because it is the first time that a media distribution channel and a brand, or really any company, but companies can be aligned in terms of what their goal is. And so he was saying, like, capitalize on this, amplify creative that works, don't amplify creative that doesn't work. Like, don't look at engagement, look at views. And because, like, you can skew comments and shares and all that stuff, but he was like, look at views, and the things that are getting the most views, amplify those, put ad dollars behind those, because that is the true metric around social media distribution. So I thought that was really, really interesting. Okay, now I want to give out some conference shout outs because I think that they're well awarded. So, ShopTalk, the actual team themselves, I think did a great job with ShopTalk Fall. They had these activations. And to be fair, I did not go to ShopTalk Spring this past year. I couldn't, I had a wedding to attend. So, they might have done this in the spring of 2025. I just don't know. But in the fall 2025, they had these activations that were great because they gave you something else to do outside of going and talking to people at the booths or attending these sessions. And I feel like it really gave me something to bond with the other people on the floor about and talk about. And it really fit their theme of alchemy well. And I love the intentionality. I feel like this is where the customer experience, granted, it's the attendee experience for a conference, but you see those themes come alive where it's like, oh, I'm going to think about that now. And one of the things that they had, I literally have so much stuff next to me, is they did a little scent mixer station. I don't even know what you would call it. And I swear to God, I feel like a chemist now. This scent, I wish you could smell it. It smells so good. And the people running it were so friendly. So they had this scent station. They had a color analysis person. They had a barber hair and makeup station. They had a tarot card reading. There were so many activations that I feel like really went above and beyond in terms of conference. They also had the Mystic Mart, which they've had in years past. And I literally put my goodies in a basket so that I can bring them out for you all to share. It was called the Mystic Mart this year. And what they do is showcase brands so that all the attendees can go and try out these different brands. So I want to give them a shout out because those brands said yes to being in that market. I have no idea what that entails. I don't know what that process looks like internally, how they choose those brands or whatnot. But I want to give them a shout out because, like, why not? I'm excited to try these products. So first thing is, and I know that this is reversed, but Vena, I believe that's how you say it, or Vena, Vena CBD skincare. It's a bath salt soak. It's a CBD soaking salt. And I am so excited to try this on just a night that I need some relaxation. They got some under eye repair masks from Co Beauty. Their speaker at ShopTalk Fall I loved her. She was incredible. She was so entertaining, and their business is run off of dupes, which she was talking about, and I thought that was such an interesting business model. So I might go into more detail about that later because there was just a lot to go in there. Next brand highlight we have is Ritual, and this is their sleep melatonin. I don't take melatonin on the regular, but it is good to have it. I find, especially with traveling, if sometimes I'm going to Japan in March, and so I know that'll be coming with me just in case the flight really messes me up. Their apple cider vinegar gummies, I've been seeing these on TikTok. So when I saw them at ShopTalk Fall, I was like, yeah, give me a jar of those. So I'm really excited. I already started taking them and they are delicious. They feel like candy. They taste like candy. So that's exciting. And then one of the other things that I got from We're Not Really Strangers is this self-love card deck, which incredible. If you know We're Not Really Strangers, they are a question card deck company, and I think it is awesome that they came out with a self-love deck. I'm all about mental health and self-love and have been for years. It was actually my first podcast in that realm, I'll have you know. And so now I'm journaling to one of these prompts a night, and I'm loving it. I'm 3 days in and loving it. And then the other shout out is Fenty Skin. This is their toner, or I guess it's called Fat Water. And I am so excited. This is the first Fenty Skin product that I have. I have their highlighter and their contour for their makeup selection, and I love it. So I'm excited for this. I don't use toner, and I know that that's maybe a hot take. So I'm excited to feel more mature in my routines. So that is all the shout outs that I had for the brands who are part of the Mystic Mart in ShopTalk, and I'm so excited to try all their products. I think it's going to be so fun. I also just wanted to give out a shout out to Olive and June. They weren't part of the Mystic Mart, but you can literally see how well used this is by me. I have it on my nails currently, and look how shiny they are. It's their nail strengthener because their team, their founder, was also at ShopTalk Fall, and I loved her conversation. So yeah. Okay, next part of this episode that I wanted to kind of shout out were the partners, the people who had booths, and the people that I met at the conference who were working it were phenomenal. So can't also say this without also acknowledging the goodies that they shared with everyone, the goodies that they shared at the conference. But first is going to be Shopify. I host my site through Shopify. I have had all these brands on this podcast. They're all hosted by Shopify. There's a reason that they are loved in the space. So I feel like I don't have to say much there other than they gave me my first ever Glossier product, and I am so excited. It is their After Balm, so it's their moisturizer, and I'm so excited. Like, just look at this. If I can get it open. This is actually so embarrassing. Okay, look how pretty. Look how pretty. I'm so excited. Glossier, obviously, I've heard phenomenal things about their products, and this, I can't believe that this is my actual first one. I've literally been in their stores before and taken a tour of their retail shop as part of ShopTalk 2024 last year. But I just didn't have time to purchase any products as part of the tour, and I haven't been back, so I'm really excited. Okay, next partner shout out is Attentive. They are email and SMS platform, and they're doing a lot of cool stuff with AI, so I'm excited to look into that a little bit more. And they gave me a Salt and Stone deodorant. I feel like this is all the rave right now. And their team was, I mean, they're one of the leaders in the D2C space for a reason as well. They were talking about how their AI can be predictive and really enhance push notifications, SMS, and email. I work with them as part of my full-time job with Malomo, and I was very excited to see them there representing, as they always do, in their classic yellow Attentive color. So that was great. Another partner shout out is Smile.io, and they are a loyalty enterprise platform. But they did share that if you have less than 200 monthly orders, then they do have a free platform. So I'm definitely going to check out more about that. I haven't done it yet, but wanted to give out a shout out to the brands they were representing. So Touchland is hand sanitizer. Look at that cute packaging. Also, I've always loved their packaging. And they had like a mango scent. It smells so good. And then they were also repping Belissi, if you can see that right there. And I wish you all could feel how soft this eye mask was. I told them that I would put it on during my podcast, but I'm now recognizing that this is going to be difficult to do one-handed. So we're getting silly and goofy with this, okay? Just, Belissi, if you see this, know that I'm going to be repping this weekend on my flight to Charlotte. And I love the yellow color. I'm obsessed. So I also think it was fun that they had the tag kind of loose, so you can see it's like moving, so that you can kind of put it wherever you want, so that it's out of your way. Okay, next partner shout out is AMP, and let me just say, I feel so grateful that I live in such a fun ecosphere for work, because I get to come home and share all these goodies with my girls and share the love and share the wealth and do it on this podcast. So I really, really appreciate the seat that I sit in, and I'm super grateful for it. So yeah, next partner shout out is AMP. They're so smart. They put a little sticker on their Lego set, and look how cute, cherry blossoms. They set me up, and they were so, so, so kind. They also had seeds, and Piper was walking me through all the different ways and things that I could grow in my Chicago apartment, like outdoors, indoors, even in New Jersey. She was like, take these home to Jersey. I was like, that's incredible. Thank you. So that'll be a weekend project for me for sure. But what they do is AMP is a agentic infrastructure for customer experience. So their AI improves customer interactions by learning what each customer prefers and then intelligently delivering context and content that they want to see. So I'll be honest, I still have so much to learn about like all the deep ends of that. And it seemed like they were so smart and so technical on their team. I was like, oh my God, this is some of it's going over my head, but I will learn. I will do my best. Next shout out is Insider. They gave out some Rockstar custom Nikes, and that is a sick promo. They're a CDP for which connects customer data with behavior and mixes it with AI so that it individualizes experiences. And their team was really cool. They had a beautiful booth with just like your Oasis, like that's implanted in my mind now. So I spoke with a couple of people on their team and they were awesome. And then next shout out is Tightly. They gave me a tote bag and they had an iPad giveaway, which I did not win, but whoever did, congrats. That's sick. But their team at Tightly was so friendly and knowledgeable. They are an inventory planning tool. And so if you are in the D2C, or even just if you are in the business of having a physical product, you know the mess that inventory and predicting inventory and planning it and everything can be. So they work to have real-time stock and ETAs that customers can trust and that brands can trust. So their team was super friendly. It seems like they are definitely doing a lot to build out an awesome platform for kind of the logistical ends of brands. Few more shout outs. Let's rip through them. Letter Lab, they had 4 adorable French bulldog puppies. And when I say I sat down in that little playpen, not once, but twice, both mornings, I was overjoyed. So they very much deserve a shout out because great idea, marketing, puppies, it can't go wrong. It's incredible. And they do direct mail. So they were telling me how they, in the beginning of stages of their company, they trained a robot to hand write the founder's message with a ballpoint pen. So it was handwritten and it was the founder's message, but it was scalable. And I thought that was really interesting. So yeah, really cool to see. And then last 2 shout outs, Purple Dot. They had a fun spin the wheel. Their pre-orders made easy. And I feel like that there's not too many people in the pre-order space. Maybe I'm wrong, but I haven't seen a ton. So shout out to Purple Dot. And then Dot Digital, they are a customer experience and data platform, so a CXDP, and they improve the customer experience by basically managing data effectively. So their team always crushes it at conferences, and they had a craft station, so they had patches that you could put on a scarf for your dog or a fanny pack or a hat. And then they also had charms for a phone charm. And look at how cute this is. I literally sat there for probably 30 minutes just chatting with their team. And I think that is such a cool way to just do something innovative, be like, come relax, kind of like dissociate from conference for a bit. If you like crafts, then that's like definitely something I would want to do because I love crafts. And just like learn about their platform. Like they were super cool. And this is the second time I've seen them do this, and I love it because it is just super, super casual, and it really provides value. You walk away with such a cute little charm. Like, I'm obsessed with this. I'm showing it again because that's how in love with it I am. So yeah, that was awesome. Okay, I know that was a lot of shout outs. I know that was a lot to get through in terms of takeaways and ShopTalk and conference and all that stuff, but I am truly just so impressed by ShopTalk. So yeah, if you're curious, I highly suggest you look into some of their content, look into their conferences. I know that there's other things I'm forgetting, so I'll probably sprinkle those in upcoming episodes. But I just wanted to give out a shout out to Dory. She's a friend that I met at the conference, and she was so incredible. So girl, if you're listening to this, I had so much fun with you. It is always incredible when I get to meet people from these conferences, and I met so many incredible people, but we spent a good full day together, and I think that is incredible. And it helps that we're in the same city. So shout out personally to Dory. You're incredible, and I'm so excited to continue getting to know you. And that is what ShopTalk does. It makes connections. So yeah, with that, I will sign off and stay tuned for our next episode. Thanks, everyone.